Hello, I'm Mathew, Javier, a student of Batangas State University. Now we're going to talk about Chapter 11 tutorial. In Chapter 11 tutorial, we're going to talk about the network design. What is a network design? A network design is a up to this point, this course we have I consider that service that a data network can provide to a human network, examine the features of each layer of the OSI model and the operation TCP/IP protocols, and look in detail as the Ethernet universal LAN technology. The next step is to learn how to assemble these elements together in a functioning network that can be maintained. So, what is a network design? So, a network design is a devices in a small network and small network application and protocols and scale to larger networks. So small network topologies, for example, the majority of business are small. It is not surprising then the majority of networks are also small. A typically small business network is shown in the figure. So with small networks, the design of the network is usually simple. The number and type of devices included are significantly reduced compared to the one of the larger network. The network topologies typically involve a single router or one or more switches. Small networks may have also wireless access points and IP phones. As for connection to the Ethernet, normally a small network has a single one connection provided DSL cable as the Ethernet connection. So managing a small network requires many of the same skills are those required for managing larger one. The majority of work is focused on maintenance and troubleshooting of existing equipment, as well as securing devices and information on the network. The management of a small network is either done by employee of the company or a person contacted by the company, depending on the size and type of the business. There are also device selection for a small network. There are cost and speed and types of post interfaces. So first is cost. Cost is the cost of switch router determined by its capacity. Features: the device capacity includes the number of types of ports available of the block plane speed. Other factors that impact cost are network management capabilities, embedded security technologies and options, advanced switching technologies, the expense of cable runs to connect every time the network must also have been considered. Another key element affecting cost consideration is amount of redundancy and cooperate of the network. Second is the ports. So ports ports are the speed types and interfaces. So bits type and interfaces. Uh, Choosing the number and type ports of router or a switch is a critical decision. Newer computers have built-in 1 gig NICs. 10 gigs of ports are already included with some workstations and servers, while more expensive choosing layer 2 devices that can accommodate the increased speed allows, and layer 2 devices that can accommodate increased speeds allows to evolve without replacing central devices. So expandability, networking devices in both of physical and configurations. So operating system features and devices that depending on the version, a network device can support certain features service as security, quality of service, voice operating, layer 3 switching, network address translation, and dynamic host configuration. So that's all about device. So the small network applications and protocols have common applications under it is common protocols in voice and video applications. So the next one is that scale to larger networks, which have small network growth, protocol analysis, and employee network utilization. The next one is we have now the network security. So network security, under it must have a security threats, vulnerabilities, network attack mitigation, and device security. So we're going to tackle about the security threats and vulnerabilities. So what are the types of threats? Types of threats is information theft, data loss and manipulation, identity theft, and disruption of service. So in information theft, the breaking into a computer to obtain confidential info. Information can be used or sold for various purposes. Example, stealing an organization proprietary information such as research and development information. The next one is data loss and manipulation. So decomputer or destroy or data records. Example of data loss, sending a virus that reformats a computer hard drive. Example of manipulation is breaking into a record system to change info such as the price of an item. So the next one is the identity theft. So this is a form of information theft where personal info is being stolen, so purpose of taking over someone's identity. Using this information, an individual can obtain legal documents, apply for credit, and make unauthorized online purchases. Identity theft is a growing problem, costing billions of dollars per year. So this corruption of services, preventing legitimate users from accessing services to which they should be entitled. Example, denial of service, DOS attacks on servers, network devices, or network communication links. So those are the type of threats in security and trust vulnerability. So let's talk about physical securities. So physical security, the four classes of physical threats are hardware threats, environmental threats, electrical threats, and maintenance threats. For the hardware threats, physical damage to server, routers, switches, cabling plant, and workstations. Just for environmental threats, in temperature extremes, too hot or too cold, or humidity extremes, wet or dry. So electrical threats, voltage spikes, insufficient supply voltage, brownouts, unconditioned power, noise, and the total power loss. The next one is the maintenance threat, poor handling of key electrical components, electrostatic discharge, lack of critical spare and parts, poor cabling, and poor labeling. So those are for the security threats and vulnerability. So for the network attacks, there are types of malware. So there are viruses, worms, and Trojan horses for the types of attack. So for the network attack mitigation, for the network attack, there are also reconnaissance attack. Reconnaissance attack is the discovery of and mapping of the system service of vulnerabilities. To also have access attack, the unauthorized manipulation of data, system access or user privilege, and DOS, where said earlier, the denial of service, the disabling or corruption of network systems or services. So the next one is the network attack and mitigation. So it consists of backup, upgrade, update, and patch, authentication, authorization, and accounting, the firewalls, and endpoint security. So I'm going to check backup, upgrade, and update, and patch. So keeping up to date, the latest developments can lead to a minor effective defensively against network attack. As new malware is released, enterprises need to keep current with the latest version of antivirus software. So the most effective way to mitigate a worm attack is to download security updates from the operating system vendor and to patch all vulnerabilities Administering numerous involves the creation of standard software image of, and that is deployed on our new upgrade system. However, security requires change, and already deployed systems may need to be have updated security patches installed. One solution to the management of critical security patches is to create a central patch server that all systems must communicate with after a set period of time. As shown in the figure, any patches that are not applied to a host are automatically downloaded from the patch server and installed without a user interventions. So that's for backup, upgrade, update, and patch. So there are also device security overview, the passwords, the basic practices enable the how to enable SSH, and for the next one is basic network performance. So there are ping commands, the trace route, trace ret command, show commands, host or IOS commands, and the debugging. So in the interpreting ping results, so using the ping command is effectively way to test connectivity. Uses the ping command in control message control protocol or ICMP and verifies layer 3 connectivity. The ping command will not always pinpoint the nature of a problem, but it can help to identify the source of the problem. An important first step is troubleshooting a network failure. So, iOS indicators, if ping issued from the IOSI will yield one of the several indicators for each ICMP echo request. So that was sent to the most common indications are: first is the recipient of the ICMP, and the second indicates a time expired for ICMP echo, and U is an ICMP unreachable message was received. So there are also the trace route and trace route command, interpreting trace messages, extended trace route, and show commands, common show commands to reverse dated, and the host of the iOS command. So the next one we're going to tackle about is about network troubleshooting. So in network troubleshooting, there are troubleshooting methodologies. So first is troubleshooting approaches. So networks problems can be simple or complex and can result to a combination of hardware, software, and connectivity issues. Technician must be always able to analyze the problem and determine the cause of error before they can resolve the network issues. This process is called troubleshooting. So a common and efficient troubleshooting methodology is based on the scientific method and can be broken into 6 main steps shown in the figure. So the first step is identify the problem. Second one, establish a theory of portable causes. Step 3, test the theory of to determine cause. 4, establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and implement the solution. 5 is verify full system functionality measure, and 6, document findings, action, and outcomes. So those are the 6 steps of troubleshooting methodology. So the next one is duplex air operation. So troubleshoot cables and interfaces, and under it is duplex operation. So duplex operation, guys, is in data communication. Duplex refers to the direction of data transmission between two devices. If the communication are restricted to exchange of data is one of a time, this connection is called half duplex, and full duplex allow the sending and receiving of the data happen simultaneously. So that is all for troubleshooting cables and interfaces. So for troubleshooting scenarios, there are under it is IP addressing issues on iOS devices, IP address issues on the end devices, default gateway issues, as you can see in the chapter 11. Mm, First is IP addressing on the iOS devices. IP address related problems likely remote network access from the communicating because IP address ay hierarchically any IP address assigned to a network device must be conformed to that network range of addresses. So from the IP issues of the end devices in Windows, best machine use contact the HTTP servers. Windows automatically assign an address belonging to the some IP address range. This process is to design facilitate within the local network. So from the default gateway issues is the default gateway for an end device's closing network device that can all forward traffic to the other network. If a device has an incorrect or non-existent default gateway, it will not be able to communicate and will be devices in the network. Because the default gateway is the path of the remote network, its address must be belong to the same network and devices. So that is for default gateway and issues, and last but not least is troubleshooting DNS issues. So domain name service or DNS device is an automated service that matches this name such as www.cisco.com with the IP address, while DNS is resolution is not crucial to device name communication. It is very important to an end user. So it is common to the mistaken related operation of interpret to link availability of DNS service. User complaints such as the network is down or the internet is down are often caused by an unreachable DNS server, while operational DNS failures often lead the user to the wrong conclusion. If a user types a domain name such as www.cisco.com, a web browser, and the DNS server is unreachable, the name will be translated into an IP address and the website will not display. So that is all for troubleshooting DNS issues. And the next one is thank you for watching for chapter 11 tutorial. So I hope you learned something from it. And again, I'm Mathew, student of 2105, and that's all, and thank you.